Hey guys, Omaha here. Before we get into the video today, I need to tell you guys that the channel is going to be seeing a significant shift from Baldur's Gate content into more shooter content. And that is primarily for three reasons. One, this is a single player game that's been out for 10 months now. I'm not creative enough to make infinite content off a single player game. There's a lot of YouTubers out there still making content for this game way more consistently than me, and they're way better at it. And I applaud them for that, and it's amazing, but I'm just not good at it compared to them. Two, I've primarily in my free gaming time played Call of Duty with my group of friends, and it's been that way since 2007. I play every genre of game pretty much. I enjoy almost every genre, but the significant portion of my gaming time is spent doing that with my group of friends. So I've played every single Call of Duty and multiplayer in every Call of Duty since 2007. So that is where the channel will be seeing its primary source of content coming from, is Call of Duty. And then number three is, frankly, I'm starting to get a little burnt out of doing Baldur's Gate content simply because I have not played this game on my own for fun hardly at all since starting the channel. And it kind of sucks, but I'm happy to make content for you guys either way. Almost all my time on this game has been spent making content or getting to a point where I can make content. So maybe after a little break, I'll continue to play it single player for a little bit and actually get some time to enjoy it on its own without any distractions. But yeah, so that's why the channel is going to be shifting. I consider myself pretty good at Call of Duty. I'm definitely above average, but I'm not going to say I'm like a pro or anything. I'm definitely not. But yeah, I think it's probably the right direction for my channel simply because I have such extensive knowledge already in Call of Duty, having played it for, 17 years for the multiplayer aspect of it. So yeah, that's where it's going to go. Thank you guys, everyone, for whoever's watched my videos, whether you're starting recently or if you've watched since the beginning. I really appreciate it. And every single comment you guys have left, I've read every comment on my channel to date. Every single one, the hateful ones, the nice ones, every single one in between. And I appreciate every single one because they've all driven me to keep going, whether it was nice or mean or whatever. I don't care. It's driven me. I appreciate every single one. And I try to reply to all of them. It's hard to do. It's very time consuming. I tried it in the beginning to do every single comment that I ever left on my channel. And that lasted maybe a month and a half at most, probably not even that long. And it just took too much time. But I'm still happy to go on there and answer your guys' questions. Even when I have to jump on the game just to answer one question or go to a certain part of the game just to answer one question, and sometimes I'll still do that. I'm happy to do that, but I'm very happy to help people. I know it sounds silly talking about a video game helping people, but it is still meaningful to me, helping you guys, even if it's just a small thing. So that's kind of driven me to keep going. I didn't really expect this channel or to even be a YouTuber at all. Uploading my first video was kind of just to share information because when the game first came out, I wanted to play the Druid. That was what I was primarily interested in. I love the Druid. Everything about Druids I love. I think it's cool. So that's what I wanted to play, and I couldn't find any information at all about the Druid forms or anything like that. And so I made a video once I found all the information out on my own. I made a video on all the animal forms, and that video, well, safe to say it popped off. Let's see how many views it's at now. 321,847 views, 573 comments, which is mind-blowing to me. And the like ratio is like 97.8% like to dislike ratio, which is insane to me as well, considering I go back and watch that video now and it's extremely cringe and very low quality. So I really appreciate everything from you guys. I never thought it would come this far, even as far as it came. So yeah, again, appreciate everything you guys have done, watching and everything. I hope some of you guys stay. If you still want to watch me on Twitch, I stream primarily Call of Duty. I stream horror games too, actually. I probably want to do some more of that. If you guys want to see me at Omaha01 on Twitch, you can do that. But the YouTube channel will primarily be Call of Duty content for the foreseeable future. Probably expand out to other shooters and stuff later on, but that's what it's going to be for now. Anyways, sorry for the super long emotional intro. Just needed to, I actually wrote all that down, but I didn't really read off of it because I was trying to go off the top of my head and make it more natural. So that is what it is. Anyways, let's get into the tier list now. All right, to start us off, our first spell is Arcane Gate. So you create 2 linked teleportation portals within a range of 60 feet. All creatures, including enemies, may travel between the 2 points as a free action. And then the game's pathfinding will automatically navigate to the portal if it's the shorter route. This is a concentration spell to keep up. And the problem with this spell, it's not bad by any means, but the problem with it is you're competing with all these other spells, and level 6 spells are the most powerful spells in the game, and there's a lot of competition, and you're also competing with upcasted spells to cast level 6. So these spells need to be extremely impactful or fight deciding consistently to be in the higher tiers of my tier list. And Arcane Gate is simply not consistently fight deciding enough for me to be higher up in the tier list than C. The times I've used it, it hasn't really been fight deciding at all. It's been good, but I haven't used it a whole lot simply because I didn't find it to be worth using a level 6 spell slot on every time. So I think C tier is where I'm going to put that one. Then after that, we have Blade Barrier. Summons a wall of razor sharp blades that turns the area into difficult terrain, so that's going to halve your movement speed and damages anyone foolish enough to come close. So you're going to get more value out of it inherently just because it's difficult terrain, so they're going to be in it longer. It might take them more than one turn to get through, but it'll do 6 die 10 slashing damage, which is better than the fire damage you get from Wall of Fire, I think, at least. The problem is Wall of Fire is 2 spell slots lower, so it's a level 4 spell, and it does 5 die 40, or 5 die 40, that'd be nuts. 5 to 40 fire damage. So the damage is only a little bit less, and it's not difficult terrain, but for 2 spell slots higher, it's just not that much better to me. So while it is a good spell, I don't think it's going to be like A or S tier for me. And then after that, we have Chain Lightning. So you strike an enemy with lightning, 3 more bolts will leap from the target, electrifying as many as 3 other enemies within range. Each of those bolts is going to do 10 to 80 lightning damage. And remember, with lightning and cold, you can double it on a wet target, which is really easy to apply on a target, the wet condition. So times that by 4, because it's 1 bolt and then the 3 extra. So that's a max of like 320 damage. My math's correct. I'm a little tired today, but yeah, 320 damage. Then you double that on a wet target. You can get like, or 4 wet targets, I should say. It'd be 640 damage. That's obviously peak max potential, but even 320, or even if you get 200 something, that's just really good value for a level 6 spell. So I'd consider this fight deciding. And then since patch 6, actually, this can't be used with Twin Spell, which really sucks, but still really, really good spell, and it's consistently good in my opinion. So A tier is where I'm going to put that one. All right, next up, we have Circle of Death. This one, I'll just say right off the bat, is not worth casting most of the time. So this will do an AoE of 30 feet or 9 meters, and the damage is going to be 8 to 48 necrotic damage. Now, this is the same damage that you get with Fireball, except it's necrotic. Now, the range is more, or the AoE is more, like you get 13 feet here and you get 30 feet on Circle of Death, but that's like barely more than double the range. The damage is just not high enough to warrant using a level 6 spell slot. The only saving grace for this spell is that it's a necromancy spell, so you can use the Staff of Cherished Necromancy. And even with that, I almost still want to put it in F tier. I'm going to put it in D just because of the staff, really. That's the only reason. F is spells I'll never touch. Now I'll touch it because of the staff. That's basically it. After that is Create Undead. Again, this is another spell. It's not that good. Create a corpse as a heinous mummy that fights by your side. So if we click on that, this thing has got Rotting Fist, which does 2 to 12 bludgeoning damage and 3 to 18 necrotic damage. It's very mid for level 6 spell summon. Dreadful Glare, you can frighten a creature. Multi-attack, which is all right. This thing's AC is 12, which is dreadful. That's just awful. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, the summon is not worth using, again, unless you're using the Staff of Cherished Necromancy, because it's a necromancy spell. You're way better off upcasting Animate Dead to level 6. You get way more value out of that. This is another D tier spell, which I would generally avoid. That being said, if you're playing a summoning build and you have a level 6 spell slot free and you're not going to use it on Planar Ally, I would just use it on that, I guess. I don't know. Hard to really promote this spell. And this coming from a guy that loves summon spells like a lot. After that, we have Disintegrate. So you shoot a thin green ray from your finger. If the spell reduces the target to 0 hit points, it disintegrates into a crumbly ash. Which, by the way, I think it still holds true. I don't know for sure because it's been a while. But they lose all of their loot on their person if they become disintegrated. So that sucks. And this does 50 to 100 force damage. The force damage part of it's good, but the actual damage value is terrible for a level 6 spell. You're only doing this to 1 target, and it's only 50 to 100. I really don't think it's worth casting. This is another spell that I would actually probably put this in F tier. I probably would never use it. Actually, is that even considered necromancy? I don't think it is. Transmutation. So yeah, you don't even get it for free. Not worth. The next spell on our list is Eye Bite. So there's 3 different variants. Really, the only one you're probably going to want to use is Asleep, but I'll go over all 3 anyways. So it's a wisdom saving throw for all of them, but the first one is Panicked. It'll strike fear deep into the creature's heart. Again, that's a wisdom save, concentration to keep it going, but they'll be fearful for 10 turns as long as your concentration holds, or until they pass a wisdom saving throw. They'll have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, and they have to run from the source of the fear, which is you, and they can't take any additional actions. I mean, you already know what fear is by now. So that's what that does. Not really worth a level 6 spell slot cast. Next, we have Sickened. So you afflict a creature with disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Again, concentration to keep that up. And it's a Constitution saving throw to continue that. Then after that, we have Asleep. So Asleep obviously puts him into a sleep, and a Wisdom saving throw to keep that going. The sleeping creature cannot move or act. Moreover, the creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls have advantage against it, and any attack within 1.5 meters or 5 feet is a guaranteed crit, which is really good. Remove by taking damage, receiving help, or being shoved. So this is a really good effect, and moreover, the Eye Bite spell itself lets you recast these 3 spells for free as long as you hold your concentration for 10 turns, I think. I think it's 10 turns. Yeah, you get it for free until your concentration breaks for 10 turns. So being able to put an enemy to sleep is really good, and you just can keep using it for free. Guaranteed crits, that's extremely valuable. So I'll put that in the A tier. After that, we have Flesh to Stone. Atrophy a foe, restraining them until they temporarily turn to stone. So the restraining effect is going to, is it going to say down here? Click on it. It cannot move as its body begins to petrify over the course of 3 turns. Attack against it have advantage, while its attack rolls and dexterity saving throws have disadvantage. So the thing that sucks is you have to wait 3 turns for this to take effect. And that's a minimum of 3 turns. This is like the same thing as Contagion, but Contagion is a spell slot lower, and yeah, it's just better. So I never see a reason to cast this spell. I don't even think it's that good anyways. This is a F tier for me. Never worth casting. After that, we have Globe of Invulnerability, and this is insane. So you create a barrier that makes creatures and objects inside it immune to all damage. So it'll make a 10-foot AoE around you, or 3 meters, and you can cast this within 18 meters or 60 feet, anywhere in that area. Cast the globe down. Use your concentration to keep it up, so you can't take damage when you're inside the globe. Well, damage from outside the globe cannot damage you. That's how it works. That'll last 3 turns, and there is no way to go around that. If you get this down for 3 turns, since you're inside of it, you can't break your concentration. So it's guaranteed 3 turns of immunity to damage. Like, you can still be afflicted with status effects, I guess, but yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed. And this is extremely valuable in the last fight against, the last fight, I'll just say that. It's almost, I would say, essential in the last fight. Not necessarily, but it's almost essential. So this is probably the best value you'll get out of any spell, probably in the entire game. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. That's probably the best value you'll get in the entire game from one cast. So that's an S tier spell. Super good. Easily one of the best spells in the game. Actually, one quick thing on Flesh to Stone again. This is actually 4 saving throws they have to fail in order to become completely petrified. So yeah, even more dookie than I thought. Our next spell we have is Harm. So you reduce the target's maximum hit points, but never below 1. So the amount you're going to reduce their max HP is by the amount of damage you're going to do. So it's 18 to 84 necrotic damage, which isn't very good for a single target spell at level 6, but you are reducing their max HP by that amount as well, so they can't heal back up, basically. So against bosses, I guess it's okay. The spell really isn't anything special, and that'll last until a long rest, and it's considered a disease. On a Constitution save, they'll still take half damage, but their max HP is not reduced. So overall, it's not really that great of a spell. I'm thinking I kind of want it between C and D. If I could put it in between, I would. This is something I would say generally. Trying to think. I don't know what else I'm going to be putting in C tier, really. I don't know. It's a tough choice. I think I'll just leave it in C, and we'll see towards the end if I want to change that up. After that, we have Heal. So this heals a target's wounds and removes blindness and any diseases. So this is kind of like Cure and another healing spell combined, basically. And it heals for 70. So it's a pretty good heal. It removes all diseases and removes blindness. So it's pretty decent. It's nothing like crazy, but overall I'd say it's just good. How good? Probably, I'll go top of the B tier. After that, we have Hero's Feast. So this is a level 6 spell that makes it so you and everyone around you can't be poisoned, diseased, or frightened. Everyone's max HP increases by 12, and they make wisdom saving throws with advantage. And that's an AoE of 60 feet, and it lasts until a long rest with no concentration to keep it up. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. This spell is so good. It also creates a temporary feast supplies container for 10 turns that contains 46 to 58 camp supplies and 1 bottle of water in case you get thirsty. Items will drop on the floor when the container expires. And then you have to keep the spell prepared, otherwise it'll disappear, but I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritty stuff from this. It does stack with aid too, I guess I'll go over that. But yeah, this spell is super, super, super good. I think it's always worth casting after you do your long rest, just simply because of all those buffs you get. It's easily an S tier spell. All right, our next spell is Autiluk's Resilient Sphere, or Freezing Sphere actually. This does 10 die 6 or 10 to 60 cold damage, and remember cold damage can be doubled against wet targets, so that actually makes it pretty good if you can double it. On its own though, it's just whatever. It's an AoE of damage though, and it gives you two different variants. There's the launch variant and there's the conveniently portable Freezing Sphere. So we'll go over the launch. You basically just launch it as it is, and it'll create an ice surface for 10 turns as well, with an AoE of 6 meters or 20 feet. So that's really good because that can end turns and it halves movement speed. End turns if they fall prone. So yeah, that's really good. And it's an AoE, so you can hit multiple targets with it. The thing is, there's the second variant, which is the conveniently portable Freezing Sphere. And with this, you use the action and your same spell slot, same cost, everything, does the same damage. It gives it to, you can give it to yourself as an item in your inventory, or give it to an ally, or you can just throw it away, I guess. But it explodes after 10 turns, so you can pre-buff by giving this to yourself or an ally, and then they use their bonus action to throw a level 6 spell. So yeah, that can get pretty good, and even better if you use it as a scroll, because you can load up with a couple of these and just nuke a fight right off the bat, which is insane. So yeah, there's a lot of potential with this spell, and because it's cold damage, it can be doubled. And because of the fact you can use it as a bonus action if you pre-buff before the fight, I think I'll put it in A tier just because of that. Otherwise, I would say it's probably a B tier spell. But yeah, I think I'll put it in A tier near the end. After that, we have Otto's Irresistible Dance. Cause a creature to start dancing, making it unable to take actions or move. Its attackers have advantage on attack rolls, so you have advantage on attacking him. Dancer has disadvantage on attack rolls and dexterity saving throws. So this is actually not able to be resisted on the first initial casting. There's no saving throw to resist. So the first turn, they're not going to be able to do anything. And then the next 10 turns, they have a wisdom saving throw every turn to get out of it. So it's guaranteed the first turn, which is really good. And as long as your concentration holds, or if you have like Arcane Acuity or whatever, you can keep this going for the full 10 turns. But again, there's a lot of ways with Arcane Acuity and stuff like that to do the same effect. The difference is this one guarantees it on the first turn, even if you don't have Arcane Acuity and stuff like that. So it's good. I don't think I want to... really, if I could put this between A and B, I probably would. Let's think. It's good enough that I think I'll just put it at the bottom of A tier. I think if you're not building around Arcane Acuity and you still want to get a guaranteed effect on one turn, the first turn, with a pretty decent chance of still getting it to keep going, I think A tier is where it belongs. After that, we have Planar Ally. So this gives you 3 different summons. There's the Jin, the Diva, and the Cambion. And the Jin does... He has a scimitar that does 1 die 6 plus 6 or 7 to 12 slashing damage, plus 2 die 10, 2 to 20 poison damage. He can cast Thunder Wave, which does 2 to 12 thunder damage, Constitution save to have. Drunken Inhale, which is 4 die 8 or 4 to 32 poison damage, and it makes the target drunk, which just gives them disadvantage on dexterity and charisma checks. Doesn't really matter, honestly. He's also got Sweet Plum Gales, which can restrain them for 1 turn. I think it's 1 turn. Whirlwind, 1 turn. Yeah, become restrained. So yeah, kind of whatever. The Whirlwind itself lasts 3 turns. And then there's Shifting Winds, which is Misty Step. So all in all, this summon is not really all that amazing. He's okay. It's probably like a B tier summon. The Diva, we went over that in the last video, but he has Wrathful Smite, Revivify, and Concussive Smash. All in all, I'd say this one's probably an A tier summon. And then the Cambion, haven't used nearly as much as the other two. Well, I mostly use the Diva, I should say. I shouldn't say the other two. I mostly use the Diva. But he's got his Glaive, he's got a Rush Attack, Fiendish Charm, which you can use on a humanoid to charm them, Rays of Fire, which is 3 rays of 3 die 6 or 3 to 18. Yeah, 3 to 18 fire damage, and then Draining Kiss. So if you charm an enemy, you can use this on them to do 10 to 55 psychic damage, and then he has Fly. So that one's just okay. I actually really don't care for that one all that much. So as much as I love summons, I think Planar Ally as a whole, since it's a level 6 spell, it's probably like a B tier. I wish it was a lower level, like 5 or... Yeah, I think 5 would actually be the best. I think you have a lot of versatility, and it's good, but it's just not amazing. I think somewhere in here, I can't tell if I want to put it higher than Heal or not, though. Yeah, I'll screw it. I'll put it higher than Heal just because I love summons. After that, we have Sunbeam, a brilliant beam, a beam of brilliant light sears and blinds creatures in its path. And until this spell ends, you can recast this without expending a spell slot. So that part of it is really, really good. So the blinding, ranged attacks have a range of 10 feet and attack rolls suffer disadvantage. and then attacks against them will have advantage. So this will do 6 to 48 radiant damage, and all the benefits that radiant damage apply here. It's a concentration spell to be able to keep casting it for free every turn, and it shoots out in a line, so you can hit multiple targets for this damage. The damage on its own isn't that great, but since you can hit multiple targets, it becomes a lot better, and it's radiant damage, which is great. And then you get it for free every turn. So this is all in all really good. And then you also blind the creatures, which is really good. So yeah, there's a lot of things going for this spell. I actually, I almost want to put it higher than Eye Bite. Maybe it's not as good as Eye Bite. I'll put it right there. All right, 3 to go. Next is Wall of Ice. So you raise a wall of solid ice that deals 10 dice 6 cold damage to anyone standing in its way. So when you initially cast this and the wall's in their way, that'll deal the damage. When the ice is broken, it leaves behind a cloud of frigid air that deals 10 dice 6 cold damage per turn to creatures within. So you can get 2 instances of damage. It's basically Wall of Stone, but with damage added on. And, I like the spell. It's pretty cool. That's basically what it is. If they're wet, I guess you can double the damage too. So not a whole lot of craziness to it. I think it's good. I don't know what everybody else thinks about it, but I personally think it's pretty decent. Is it better? I don't know. Leave it there. Actually, I think I want to put it at the end. After that, we have Wall of Thorns, another wall spell. So create a wall of pliable twisting thorns surrounded by entangling vines. So entangling vines is going to make it so they can't move. Attack rolls against them have advantage, and their attack rolls and dexterity saving throws have disadvantage. So creatures can move through the wall, but they take 7 die 8 piercing damage per turn. Their movement speed is quarter. So this is actually very similar to Blade Barrier. This does 6 to 60 slashing damage. Wall of Thorns does 7 to 56, so you get 1 more minimum damage and 4 less maximum damage. It's also piercing instead of slashing, and it also quarters the movement speed. So personally, I like piercing more than slashing, and you get the movement speed quartered, and for that reason, I think it's just better overall. Not by a lot, but I think it's better than that one, so I'll stick it there. And last, but definitely least, I guess, I don't know. Not really in combat, at least. It's not that good. Transform yourself and all nearby party members into tiny clouds of mist to avoid attacks. So this is gaseous form, but for 4 people. I think 4. Never had any desire to cast this. Is it 4? All nearby party members, so I guess just whoever's nearby. You become resistant to non-magical damage, gain advantage on Constitution, Dexterity, and Strength saving throws, and become tiny in size. So you can get around the map, go in little holes, do your thing, blah, 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 run away from a fight if you're a coward. Honestly, never really saw any combat appeal to this. It's kind of just an RP thing. So that's where it's going to go. That is the full tier list. Which one did I want to move potentially? I think it was one of these harm. I think I'll just leave it there. Kind of happy with that. Anyways, that's it. That's the last Baldur's Gate video, guys. Again, if you didn't listen to my Oscar-winning emotional speech at the beginning, this is my last Baldur's Gate 3 video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing. If you've been subscribed this long, if you want to unsubscribe because I'm not doing Baldur's Gate, I don't really blame you. You got to do what you got to do, but I appreciate you subscribing for the time you did subscribe. Thank you guys so much. If you like this video, drop a like, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.